Welcome to the Happiness Alchemy podcast. I'm your host, Tracy Goody. Stay with me for expansion, activation, and awareness on your spiritual journey through life and business. Episode 25, Beyond the Law of Attraction, Spotlight on the Universal Law of Attention. Thanks so much for joining me today. I am so excited to be getting into some other universal laws. So many people know about the law of attraction, and it has been done and done and done. But what about all the other universal laws, right? Okay, so now it's time to really dive into this. Keeping in mind that this is from my perspective. So take what you will as truth from this, and anything that doesn't resonate with you, absolutely leave it, because everybody's perspective is going to be a little bit different. Before I really dive into this, I want to give a little bit more around my perspective of fear and love as it relates to this universal law of attention. So the definition of fear that I am going with is lower vibrational emotional frequencies that really perpetuate suffering, separation, and guilt, shame, and hatred. My definition of love for this episode, or my own definition of love, is a higher vibrational emotional frequency that expands and encourages compassion, understanding, unity, and divinity within all that is and within yourself. It encourages happiness, abundance, courage, determination, power, potential, awareness, activation of who you really are. So that's a little bit loaded. I have a lot more. I have a lot more emotion going into my definition of love because it's what I choose to put my attention on. So the universal law of attention is that energy flows where attention goes according to perspective and resulting connection to emotion. So again, that's pretty loaded as well. So just kind of sit with that and take what you will from it. I'm going to continue on just a little bit quicker with this. So this may be an episode that you're going to want to repeat and really sit with to see how the universal law of attention sits with you and what your perspective is on it. So this doesn't necessarily mean that feeling fear or doubt or despair is going to bring more of it to you. So as I said in the definition, energy flows where attention goes. It doesn't necessarily mean that, allowing yourself to feel fear or doubt is going to bring more of it to you. It's a common misconception with this law, and it's actually created out of fear and separation. So the issue really lies in getting stuck in a cycle of creation with the emotions perpetuated by media and lower vibrational perspective. So this whole poor me, the world is bad and bad people win attitude, which a lot of people can get easily sucked into. And that creates this cycle of creation that's based in fear and that attracts and multiplies negativity, scarcity, fear, and separation, okay? Now, in a beautiful contrast, because remember, we have choice, in a really beautiful contrast, the cycle of creation works even more potently with love and abundance and connection. So when you allow yourself to get caught up in the cycle of creation, and all I mean by creation is that whenever we are focusing our attention on something, we are creating that reality because our reality is created based on our perception. So whenever you allow yourself to get caught up in the cycle of creation based on the perception that humankind is good, of love, when you expose yourself to more of that, to stories of triumph, courage, love, empowerment, inspiration, whenever you let yourself really feel those tears of gratitude, what I'm talking about. You've seen those videos on Facebook where you watch them and then you're just like bawling your face off because you're like, humanity is so good, people are so good. So let yourself feel those tears of gratitude for humans living in their power and expressing their soul beauty to the world. In this way, you're rolling yourself into the cycle of a magnificent creation. You're rolling yourself into the cycle of putting the law of attention to work for you based on love. Okay, so coming back to what I mentioned earlier, fear, doubts, and lower vibrational emotions are not the enemy. It's in your cycle of creation that lowers your perception and that creates the enemy within. So it's creating it within yourself. So if evil were to exist, it's of our own creation. It's not something that's outside of ourselves, okay? So feeling these emotions as they come up. So again, I'm still talking about fear, doubts, those lower vibe emotions. Whenever you feel those emotions as they come up, and then just kind of step back and allow your perspective to rise up and see the emotions as a lesson for you to heal within yourself, to transmute them, to alchemize them, happiness alchemy, into love, peace, unity, acceptance, community. So fear is really only a lesson leading you to expand to your true nature and coming back to love. Fear is never really meant to drag us down into these spirals of negativity. It is only as a lesson for expansion. So really coming to a place where you're accepting that this is a part of human nature, but so is choice. So if you are in fear the majority of the time, only you are able to shift that, to choose to get off the wheel of fear creation and step into the wheel of love creation. So again, remembering my definition of love, it's not like a romantic love or anything like that. It's those higher vibrational emotions that, again, the law of attention is helping you to bring more of those into your life. So do you want to bring more fear-based emotions into your life and your perception? Or do you want to bring more love-based emotions into your life and your perception? It's all your choice. So it's totally normal to fall off the love wheel into fear. But again, coming back to choice, and I'm going to talk about choice a lot because we are not really using our power of choice nearly as much as we can. So it's totally normal falling off this love wheel, love creation wheel into these fear emotions. Totally normal. But then the power really lies in our choice to dust off and get back onto the love wheel. And that expands our sense of self. Every time we fall off and get back on, it's that whole whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? So whenever you do climb back up onto the love wheel and make that choice to focus your attention there, your sense of self expands, your resilience expands, your determination to do more and to be more than you thought you could be from a really loving place just grows like crazy. So even if it takes you a minute, an hour, a day, a year, it doesn't really matter how long it takes you. What is most important is that you are waking up. You are dusting off this fear cycle, and you are rinsing the veil of fear and separation out of your eyes. It doesn't matter how long it takes you. Everybody's journey is going to be a little bit different. Everybody's lessons that they need to learn are a little bit different. So just continue to dust yourself off, rinse off the veil of fear, and step back onto the love wheel. You are magnificent. The earth is home to us, the humans, the keepers of the third dimension. And really, it's our time to bring about this golden age of consciousness, to rise all in our own way, to rise because it feels good, not always easy, but it's always going to provide more rewards than you even thought possible. Like just even the emotional rewards from it, not to mention the actual physical rewards, the material rewards that come with choosing to focus on this rising and this love. Rise because it's your time. Rise because it feels so good. Rise together, rise alone. Just follow where you are guided, and know one thing for sure. Your guidance is within, and you have every single opportunity to step on this path now. And every time you take a breath, you have another opportunity to step on the path. The opportunities are not going to stop. As long as you have the ability to choose, which you always do, then you have another opportunity. So this is the law of attention. All right, so that was a little bit loaded, a little bit heavy, a little bit deep, a little bit super spiritual. So let's talk for just a quick moment about how the law of attention can come into play in your life and practical ways that you can be working with this law. So I'm going to give you three ways that you can work with this law. Number one, pay attention to where your vibe is at, okay? And you may have heard something similar from like law of attraction teachings. So pay attention to where your vibe is at. What I recommend for this is just set an alarm for once daily, however often you want, but once daily is a great start. And then when this alarm goes off, just check in with yourself. Breathe into your heart and ask, am I in fear or in love? If you're in love, ask it to expand, to inspire you, and to awaken even more love within you. Breathe into your heart. Just feel it through every single cell of your body. And that just increases your perception of the good stuff and brings more of it to you. Now, if you are in fear, Still breathing into your heart, ask, where's this coming from? What do I need to acknowledge, accept, or let go of? And then give yourself the space required to handle that. And you can see my podcast episode where I cover if you're feeling depressed during your spiritual journey, how to snap out of that. So head back to that if you want a little bit of extra help with this part. But if you don't have a lot of time to give yourself that space to do that, just simply breathing into your heart and repeating the words in your head as your hand is over your heart and you're just breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth and repeating the words compassion or connection or unity or love. Anything like that is going to start to bring you back into resonance with the vibration of love, and continuing to breathe into your heart just for a few moments. And again, it's just going to take you back to that resonance. Also, you may want to have a snack and some water because maybe it's just a hangry moment, because I know that happens to me all the time. Not actually in the perpetuation of fear. I just am hangry and I have not eaten. So go eat something too. Number 2, look at the things you want to manifest in your life. So ask yourself, do I hold them in the perspective, attention of love, abundance, and actually a part of myself? Or do I hold them in lack, separation, and fear of not enough? So just start to see the things you desire in this beautiful golden flow of love, and that's going to help to ease your separation anxiety that you have around them and starts to activate the law of attention in your favor. All right, number 3, take note of where your attention is. So and this is a mindfulness exercise as well, right? And this is a practice. This is not something to get perfect. This is a practice. When you're on social media, when you're watching TV, when you're speaking to friends, are you noticing and are you getting caught up in the things that are fear-based? Because we can become addicted to this fairly easily. We like our drama. So it's about balance, right? So, indulge in your favorite TV show and that drama, but don't get stuck in the creation that the world is based upon it. So can you stretch a little bit closer to choose to notice the loved-based things and ask for more of that in your perception, hiding those people on Facebook that make you want to punch them in the face because they just only have negative things to share, like not watching these TV commercials, avoiding the news, looking for things that really enrich you instead. You can create a much bigger impact from a place of love and empowerment. So if you're worried, if I don't watch the news, I'm going to lose touch with what's going on in the world. Okay, well, here is something to think about. How are you going to be taking action and really getting fired up, getting the empowerment, getting the momentum and motivation you need to make changes where you want to in the world when you're stuck in this fear-based attitude? So just think about that whenever you are choosing what you want to expose yourself to, and bring more of this love and empowerment in, because this is the place of personal power. This is the place of action. This is the place of change. This is the place of the golden consciousness. So this is what we're moving towards. And I know everybody just can feel how much better this vibration of love feels than fear. Okay, so that is a big one. This one, as you can probably tell, is very, very close to my heart. So I encourage you to share this episode if you feel called to do so, and absolutely give me a rating and review in iTunes so that more people can hear this message. And I thank you so, so much for listening today. Thanks for tuning in. Visit happinessalchemy.com for your free shamanic journey and to learn about the Happiness Alchemy Sacred Library. Have a magical day.